This hour, Russia is through to the quarterfinal of Euro 2008. They beat Sweden 2-0 in a one-sided game. This is the first time in Russia's post-Soviet history it's made it beyond the group stages. Well, they will now face Holland on Saturday. Well, I'm joined now by our sports correspondent Neil Harvey, who's in Austria, and Leah Ferguson, who's watching the game in a Moscow bar. Now, Neil, first of all, to you, what's going on in Innsbruck? What's happening around you?
Very good evening to you. Well, the fans are just filing out of the stadium. It's all pretty relaxed here. You would think it wasn't such a big surprise, but I can tell you it is pretty big. This was the night that Russian football ascended to an entirely new level. They had to win. They did exactly that, and it's the first time ever that Russia have made it through to the knockout stages of a major football competition. The performance, it was quality, it was composed, it was controlled, and it was confident. The goals from their key players, really, Roman Pavlyuchenko, Andrea Sharbin, and one of the Swedish players, Freddie Lundberg, said yesterday he thought that Russia played total football, and that's probably the best way to describe the way that Russia played tonight. And the 50 minutes, which saw Russia go 2 goals up, possibly the best, the most confident 50 minutes of football you've ever seen from a Russian football team. They are definitely going in the right direction. The Swedish, you've got to say, they did nothing wrong. I just spoke to one of their Swedish TV presenters, and he said congratulations to the Russian team, and he said Russia were the best side, Sweden did nothing wrong, the best team won on the night. And Russia, well, Gustav has completely transformed them. They used to be a side who were shaky at the back, lacking in confidence, didn't really have the mettle for international football, and he is the man, he is the master of international football. He's done it with small teams before, he's done it with not a small team this time, Russia, but he has transformed them, and the celebrations are just about to start.
Good game, good game. We've been watching it quite anxiously here in the newsroom as well, and we've been in touch with Leah, who's been watching the game with the Russian fans here in Moscow. What was the game like there? What was your experience, Leah?
Well, this is a highly significant win for the Russians. It's the first time in the history of the country, the post-Soviet country, that they've made it through the group stage of the European Championships. It was Russia's big chance to set a new record in its competition history, and it's done it. This was a meeting between the oldest and the youngest teams in the tournament. Experienced Sweden did expect to beat youthful Russia, but it was wrong. Russia really did need this win to get through to the next stage, and this urge to win probably made Russia play a more aggressive game. But Russia kept up its defence against some big-name Swedish players, and I suppose it proves that age and experience doesn't always make for a win.
Well, that's right, Neil. You said there was not much of it was a big surprise to the Russian fans there. Just tell us about your experience being there in Austria, and did you manage to talk to any of the Russian fans? What are their first-hand emotions to tell us?
I think the atmosphere is pretty subdued at the moment. Don't expect that to last. They're just biding their time until they can get to the bars. And actually, there's a Russian club that's transported itself over here. One of the big, most famous Russian clubs, Ryan. I think quite a few people will be heading down there. The reason it's fairly relaxed is because the Russian fans have been confident from the moment they set foot in Switzerland and Austria. They absolutely believe in the Russian team. It's been a great year for Russia on a sporting front, and they have the utmost confidence in their manager, who is one of the greatest in world football, Gustav, and in the players who are improving with every match. And there's a lot of pride was on the line tonight. Most impressive, not just the fact that they beat Sweden, because the pundits were kind of 50-50 about who would win. Both the managers said it's the toss of a coin who will win this. It's not just they beat Sweden, it's the way they beat them. They controlled this match. They dominated in terms of possession, in terms of controlling the tempo of the game. They had many more shots than the Swedish team. The Swedish fans completely outnumbered the Russian fans tonight. They came in singing. but most of them are walking out silent. They've got no complaints because Sweden were just outplayed. It's as simple as that. They will go out of the competition knowing they lost to the better team. Russia, well, they will be thinking now, how far are we going to go? Gus Hiddink, he's trying to play things down, you know. He's saying, oh, we're so inexperienced, you know, we've never been to this level before. You should have seen him when the second goal went in from Andreas Sharvin. He put his hand over his mouth, and I tell you, he was trying to control a smile because even he couldn't quite believe just how well things are going for them. The youngest team, as Leah Ferguson just said, in the competition, average age of just 26, but aren't Gus Hiddink's boys growing up fast?
Neil Harvey reporting there from Austria, and we can see the crowds, of course, passing through, going on to celebrate. Well, Leah, what's happening in Moscow?
Well, the crowds were absolutely overjoyed, but now they've pretty much left this bar and they've spilled out onto the streets, off to other bars to celebrate all through the night. You know, with every goal that Russia made, the confidence of the fans grew. They were telling me earlier that they could also see that the Russian team had had a confidence boost since it won against Greece in the last group match, and they were hoping desperately that that confidence would see them through to a win. Well, it did indeed. But before the game, I was speaking to some of the fans, and they were repeating the words of Gus Hiddink, the Russian coach, who said that Russia really was the underdog in this game. Well, it seems the underdogs have made it through, and they've come out on top.
The underdogs have made it through, and we'll be watching the further games in the Euro 2008. Well, thank you so much, Leah Ferguson, reporting from Moscow, and Neil Harvey.
AIK gjorde det som ingen hade väntat sig. Fansen trodde knappt det var sant, och så här glada var spelarna efter 94 minuters vilt kämpande och en osannolik avslutning. Men vi tar det från början. Inför matchen dömde AIK-tränaren Andreas Alm ut CSKAs mittbackar som långsamma, och taktiken var att utmana med fart. Och spelarna följde orden direkt. Efter 6 minuter, Kari löper sig fri och sätter 1-0. Vilken start för AIK, och sammanlagt 1-1 i dubbelmötet. Ett resultat som skulle innebära förlängning om det stod sig. Efter målet handlade allt om Rasmus Elm och Pontus Wernbloms CSKA. Hetaste lägena här i första halvlek, men inga mål bakom AIK-målvakten Ivan Turina. Ett allt mer pressat ryskt lag fortsatte jakten i andra halvlek. Här nigerianen Ahmed Musa. Och sen samme Musa igen, men Ivan Turina bra med. Till ryske tränarens stora frustration. Ett allt tröttare AIK-försvar släppte igenom många chanser, men hela tiden fanns han där, Ivan Turina. Och när alla trodde att matchen skulle gå till förlängning så hände det. Hörna i tredje tilläggsminuten, bollen till Nils-Erik Johansson i stolpen. Och på returen Martin Lorentzon. 2-0 i matchen och sammanlagt 2-1. AIK vinner och gör Helsingborgs sällskap i gruppspelet i Europa League. Efter ett mirakel i Moskva.
Det är otroligt imponerande och väldigt, väldigt roligt för svensk fotboll, måste jag säga.
Hur överraskad är du över den här segern för AIK?
Jätteöverraskad. Det fanns inte på kartan att de skulle åka till Moskva och vända det resultatet med tanke på hur överlägsna CSKA var här på Råsunda. Så om jag ska vara helt ärlig så tror jag knappt spelarna i klubben själva. Man kan hoppas på det, men jag tror inte de trodde på det riktigt.